Coming up on Mountain News at 6, Governor Andy Beshear makes the trek to Breathitt County. We'll tell you why he was in the mountains today. And questions continue to be raised following the death of a 14-year-old in McCreary County.
Got a mixture of sun and clouds today, but rain chances will creep back in throughout the evening and overnight hours. Details coming up.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 6.
Governor Andy Beshear made his way back to the mountains today, this time making 2 announcements for residents in Breathitt County. WYMT's McKinley Calendrino was there.
New doors are opening for Kentucky residents who experienced the disastrous flooding. On Friday, Governor Andy Beshear announced 2 big projects in the works to restore and rebuild affordable housing in Eastern Kentucky.
And I'm excited to be back in Jackson, bringing good news.
The governor spoke on the 7 high-ground communities being built for flood survivors, announcing they are adding an 8th community for residents specifically of Breathitt County. Right off of Highway 30 West in Jackson, the homes will be planted out of the floodplains. This will be the view for 17 new homes in Breathitt County and 17 families that were affected by the floods. Officials say they hope to start building on this site this year. And as home ownership opportunities are arising, Governor Beshear also made an announcement about rental opportunities in Breathitt County.
Well, the truth is we have 2 big announcements today.
Introducing the River North Apartments, a formal medical building being transformed into 18 affordable apartment units for flood survivors. $6.2 million in disaster recovery funds are being poured into the project.
This is a building that was not used. It was just sitting here vacant in the community. People would drive by. It's a nice, beautiful building in a safe, out of the floodplain place. And so it's like, why isn't this being used? So
the City of Jackson will be working with Frontier Housing for this project, and Mayor Thomas says they could not have made this progress without their partners.
And we are going to get a lot done in Breathitt County. Thank you all very much.
And his promise still kept, to help every last Kentucky family that needs assistance. In Breathitt County, McKinley Calendrino, WYMT Mountain News.
The governor encouraged anyone who is impacted by the 2021, 2022, or 2025 floods to visit housingcan'twait.org and to fill out an interest form.
Temperatures today were in the 40s and 50s. Some places had a few peaks of sunshine, but now the clouds are starting to pick up. Here's the scene in Breathitt County, 14 miles southeast of Jackson, sitting at 48 degrees. There's a little bit of a bite in the air. 46 is the feels like temperature. Winds are out of the south-southeast at 5 miles per hour. McCreary County checking in with 54 degrees with a light west-southwesterly wind. And Lawrence County near Louisa, 46 degrees with a nice calm wind at this hour. All is quiet on live pinpoint Doppler radar, but rain chances will pick up as we go throughout the overnight hours and into the early morning hours of your Saturday. Right now we're seeing temperatures in the 40s and 50s. There's a look at your hour-by-hour forecast found anytime on the WYMT First Alert weather app. We're going to stay in the low 50s with cloudy skies throughout the next several hours. Rain chances pick up between the midnight to 1 o'clock time frame. Now the question is, will this rain last all weekend? Details coming up in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Eric. An investigation into a teenager's death continues in southern Kentucky. The 14-year-old died after he stopped breathing on February 24th at a home in McCreary County. 2 caregivers, one a distant relative, were arrested. The case has raised a lot of questions, and the teenager's mother and grandparents say they are seeking justice and answers. WYMT's Phil Pendleton spoke to them and the prosecutor in what is a very sad and complicated case.
Deputies were called to a home on February 24th and discovered 14-year-old Austin Carpenter in bad shape. He later died at a hospital in Monticello.
I'm really depressed. I try to stay away from people. I'm really angry. I want justice for Austin, and that's why I'm not doing nothing stupid.
Kimberly Carpenter says she was in jail when her son was placed with a cousin and her boyfriend.
When I got out, I was getting him back, and he died one day before I got out.
Extremely malnourished and had pretty hallmark signs of abuse all over his body, had chemical burns, had cigarette burns.
Prosecutors say Austin also had head and neck injuries. Billy Bolin and Jeremy Reidner were charged with criminal abuse. Deputies say that both suspects were arrested because they knew about the teenager's injuries and they did not try to get him medical help. The prosecutor says questions are being raised as to why Bolin and her boyfriend were given custody.
You know, in my view, the entire system failed Austin from top to bottom. You know, just by looking at public record, Billy Bolin had lost custody of her children. Jeremy Reidner had lost custody of his children.
Because I believe justice is going to be served, and God's justice is stronger than any justice there is.
Prosecutor says he believes a grand jury will consider the case in April. In McCreary County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Both suspects remain in the Whitley County Jail on $1 million bonds each. A federal grand jury indicted Jeremy T. Bryson on several charges. Bryson owned a company that operated the Appalachian Family Medicine Clinic in Paintsville. According to the indictment, Bryson used the business to illegally distribute drugs between January 2021 and 2022. The indictment shows that if Bryson is convicted, the government is planning to seize the property as well as more than $41,000. In Pulaski County, police say a woman set her son's house on fire using pizza boxes. Court records show Renee Whitehead was arrested for arson. Officers say she was found outside a home that was on fire in Ferguson yesterday. Neighbors say Whitehead's son owned the home and she was staying there. Whitehead admitted to using the kitchen stove to light the pizza boxes on fire and letting it spread through the house. She's being held on a $75,000 bond. 2 people in Laurel County are facing charges after police found drugs and a handgun during a traffic stop. It happened yesterday when police pulled over a vehicle on I-75. During the stop, police detected a scent of marijuana coming from the vehicle. They found meth as well as suspected fentanyl and other drug paraphernalia. They also discovered the driver, James Brock, was a convicted felon. Brock and Ariel Saylor were taken to the Laurel County Correctional Center. In Whitley County, a man is facing charges after he reportedly gave police false information about his identity. The incident happened on Monday when police responded to a call about a possible crash. When police arrived at the scene, they say Andy Lewis told them his name was Randy Jones. It was later confirmed Lewis was a wanted person by the Probation and Parole Board. Police also found a substance believed to be meth in Lewis's possession. The visitation for a Pulaski County teen is going on right now. Wes Felipe died earlier this week after he collapsed during track practice at Somerset High School. Felipe's family spoke to our Phil Pendleton yesterday about the legacy he left behind. His funeral service is set for 1 o'clock tomorrow afternoon at Morris and High Slope Funeral Home. Wes Felipe was 15 years old.
All right, take a look at the weather headlines for tonight. First of all, lingering rain chances are in the forecast this evening. Overall, we'll see a dry weekend, but sunny skies and 70s. Oh, they're in the forecast. Details coming up.
And one House bill that would allow school districts to give staff wearable panic buttons is heading to the Senate.